4A Girls Basketball Tournament, hosted by Everett Community College. Tonight's 4A District 1 Championship game features the Snohomish Panthers against the Lake Stevens Vikings. Let's make the non-starters first for Snohomish. Number 10, Morgan Marshall. Number 14, Emily Breach. Number 24, Madison Pollock. Number 32, Ireland Bowles. Number 34, Bernadette Beeman. Number 40, Cassidy McGee. And now the non-starters for Lake Stevens. Number 12, Emma Smith.
Now the Lake Stevens Vikings starting lineup. Their head coach, longtime head coach there, Randall Edens. His assistant coaches, Gil McKinney, Steve Berg, and Rachel Bohm. Now taking a look at his starters, at one guard, a 5'7" senior, Alex Briggs. Also a guard, a 5'7" sophomore, Kristen Glick. Forward, a 6'1" senior, Emily Vandergriff. Watch out for her. Kylie Griffin is a 6'1" freshman, starts as a forward, and Haley Wilson, a freshman at 6 feet, starts, and she is a junior. So it is Briggs, Glick, Vandergriff, Griffin, and Wilson for the Lake Stevens Vikings. Both teams have some height, and they're coming at each other here very shortly. The Snohomish Panthers will be wearing their red uniforms with white in the color scheme. The Lake Stevens Vikings with their white uniforms, they've got purple and gold with their color scheme as they come out on the court through their introductions right now. I do want to mention our officials from the Northwest Officials Association would be Dave Dodson. Also from the Snohomish Officials Association, Kevin Erickson, and same with Riaz Kanji, who's a good buddy we see a lot throughout the season and postseason. And so there you go. We are all set with what we have, the starting lineups, and we get ready for tonight's action between the Snohomish Panthers and the Lake Stevens Vikings for a District 1 championship game. Mike, the stage is set. We are ready to roll.
It is, and there are some very interesting matchups that I mentioned earlier, or at least alluded to. First of all, when you're looking at matchups, you always have to start with the point guard, and we have the point guard Alex Briggs for Lake Stevens. She's a 5'7" senior, and the point guard Darian Riley of Snohomish, who was our turning point player of the game the other night. That will be an interesting matchup. Neither one of them are necessarily important because of their scoring ability, but they have to handle the defensive pressure and run the show out there. Then, of course, you have the big scorers for both teams. You have 6'1" Emily Vandergrift, who averages almost 15 points a game for Lake Stevens. She's somewhat of a do-everything player, can play really all 5 positions. And the leading scorer for Madeline Smith averages 16 points a game. That's an interesting matchup as well. Madeline Smith perhaps being the stronger player down low, Vandergrift outside. And then, of course, you have the freshman sensation, Kylie Griffin, who averages almost 10 points a game for Lake Stevens. And coming off the bench, averaging 12 points a game, Madison Pollock for Snohomish. So some really key matchups in this game. And it'll be a lot of fun to watch that coach's chess match going on.
Well, I'll tell you what, we've had, and we're going to take a break right here. We'll take a quick timeout and then have a play-by-play action between Snohomish and Lake Stevens. Stay with us right here on Fox Sports 1380. gentlemen, set to rock and roll on Fox Sports 1380 high school basketball. Mark Ockett, Mike Buckholz as we bring you the 4A District 1 Girls Championship game. And happy to do so. We had the loser-out game earlier between Monroe and Jackson. Monroe won 46-32, and now we have Snohomish and Lake Stevens for first place. The loser will play against Monroe on Saturday. That comes up at noon right here, and it is good and loud here with the Lake Stevens band totally into it. They've got their gold caps on, they're waving them. Also want to mention that following this game, we'll have the boys 4A District 1 Championship. That features the Monroe Bearcats and the Jackson Timberwolves. Tom Lafferty and Bill Kusler will bring you the action on that one. And we look forward to just keeping rolling all the way into the Saturday doubleheader, 2 here, 2 at Jackson. But right now, it's tip-off time. Lake Stevens is going to control it, Mike. Let's do it.
Vandergrift and Madeline Smith matched up at the center circle, so let's see if they'll be guarding each other, but it doesn't look like they are.
So with the basketball, Lake Stevens driving into front court. Pull-up jumper is going to be no good by Vandergrift. Came off the side of the board. Rebound pulled down by Haley Wilson. Wilson to Vandergrift. Vandergrift cuts through the lane, drops one off the backboard and rim. No, not going to fall, and Snohomish will get the rebound. Here they come out of backcourt now. Darian Riley, good floor general out there. Into front court, passes up high left side, Ellie Flitch.
Lake Stevens in their man-to-man defense, and Vandergrift bad angle on her first shot off the side of the backboard.
Goes to Madeline Smith from Riley. They good ball movement out there. Brandvold is a sophomore. Now it is Riley. Let's see, 5 on the shot clock. Smith gets it off the left side of the lane, misses on a shot, and the rebound is pulled down by Lake Stevens. That is Alex Briggs. Briggs in the front court now. She finds Griffin. Griffin now, that's not going to go in. It's going to be an air ball over the top. Riley gets the basketball and coming forward. 6:55 to go here in the first quarter. And the first quarter of the game and tip-off is brought to you by Glass by Lund. Family owned since 1967. Glass by Lund bringing you the tip-off and first quarter. The basket is good by Ellie Flitch. 2-0. Snohomish on top as they strike first.
Right, Snohomish playing a 4 out and 1 in, trying to get the ball into Madeline Smith. And as a lot of teams do, they double team her. Smith finding her teammate. Smith with the assist. Snohomish leads 2-zip.
And we got a foul against Shaylee Harwood. That's her first team foul. Lake Stevens will have the basketball down by the 2 points. Thanks for being with us, everybody. You can also get results and pictures of the games we are covering on Twitter and Facebook at the KRKO Fox Sports 1380 address. As Brenda Felder will post those on there throughout the evening and then also on Saturday and at the state regionals next week and state tournament. Lots of stuff coming up. So Lake Stevens with the ball was knocked out of bounds. They're in front court right now. Haley Wilson with the basketball and moving around, dribbling around, working on Madeline Smith, and finally going to be called for a travel. Good defense by Madeline.
Yeah, so far Lake Stevens is being, they're playing a lot of one-on-one. Snohomish doing a good job as they have all year playing the defense, and so it's led to a couple of bad shots, and there was a turnover.
Darian Riley passes over on the left side. Flitch looking around, finds Madeline Smith, and Smith drops one in the inner circle in the lane. It's good. 2 points for Madeline. She's got her first 2, and our score is 4-0 as Snohomish up on top to get things rolling.
Snohomish staying with that tried and true 4 out, 1 in, trying to pound the ball inside, and if she doesn't have a shot, she'll kick it out. That time she had the shot and made it.
Lake Stevens in front court. Vandergrift goes into the lane, loses the basketball, and it's going to be Snohomish getting control of it. Kind of got sloppy in there, and now here comes Riley.
Yeah, the Vandergrift basketball sin jumped in the air to pass and threw it right to the Snohomish defender.
Flitch over to Riley. Madeline Smith double teamed. Bounce or pass up in the air. Now it's going to be worked around from Katie Brandvold to Ellie Flitch. And the basket is good from 10 feet out right side. 6-0 Snohomish getting off to the quick start here. And we got an offensive foul. Kylie Griffin, nothing's going right for Lake Stevens. At what point do you call a timeout?
Well, that's a lot of coaches. I like to sub first before I do that, but
okay.
Vandergrift is a girl that they count on a lot. She got too deep. She should have stopped at the foul line. Just went ahead, tried to force the issue. Madeline Smith right there in good position. So out of sync for Lake Stevens. Everything going Snohomish Panthers' way.
Brandvold goes to Smith, right baseline, double team, puts one up, puts one in. Madeline Smith with 4 points in the game. We're going to take a timeout. Our score, Snohomish 8, Lake Stevens 0. 4:56 left to go in the first quarter. We'll be back with more here on Fox Sports 1380 District 1 4A Girls Center. And it is a fabulous place to watch from up here. So with the basketball is Lake Stevens. Alex Briggs comes into front court. Knocked out of bounds. The substitution, Mike, for the Snohomish Panthers entering the game is Madison Pollock. And as you mentioned earlier, she averages 12.2 points per game. Yeah, she's definitely a force off the basket. Lake Stevens, even then, entry pass went off a Snohomish player and hit a wide open Ken Roberts. Lake Stevens gets it back, but they're out of sorts right now. They certainly are, trailing 8-0, and we got a double dribble. This is not good. That is the fourth turnover against Lake Stevens, as Snohomish will get the basketball back and a chance to get a double-figure lead of a 10-0 or 11-0. It is going their way so far. Darian Radley, they look very composed and very well prepared as to what they're trying to do here tonight. There's Shaylee Harwood with the basketball up high outside the arc. Cross-court pass to Riley. Riley driving right baseline, shot off by a couple. Now they work it. Oh, wow. Down low inside to Madeline Smith, and she drops it in. That's her 6th point of the game on the dish from Riley. 10-0 Snohomish. Well, it's a bad sign for Lake if you have more turnovers than shots that you have taken. Snohomish doing a good job right now, being solid. Lake needs to get something going. Putting a shot up and missing is Vandergriff. Getting the rebound will be Kylie Griffin. Griffin puts it up, puts it in, and is fouled. So that helps Lake Stevens out as Kylie gets the first 2 points of the game for the Vikings. And the foul will be on Snohomish's Madeline Smith, her first. That is the 2nd team foul. And that has been an issue sometimes for Snohomish, is that Madeline Smith gets herself into early foul trouble. So Lake Stevens on the board, super play on the offensive rebound and made the free throw. They jump into a half-court trap. And there's a steal by Griffin. She, after making the foul shot, gets the steal, drives to the basket, misses it, but right behind her, the trailer, Vandergriff puts it in, and it is 10-5. So Lake Stevens now will put the press on, but they have a 5-0 run going to cut that deficit in half. That's how quickly it can turn in this great basketball game of runs. And that's a great point, Mark, how quickly it turns. And Snohomish having their way, and there goes another turnover for Snohomish. Yeah, Madeline Smith missed a shot. Her teammate tried to save it. Goes to Lake Stevens. Lake Stevens, 3-ball the other way. How about this? Alex Briggs buries it over in the corner pocket left side, and it's 10-8, an 8-0 run for Lake Stevens. How about the defense out here? Well, they're in a 1-2-2 press, trying to take some time off the clock, and that's working well for Lake Stevens as Snohomish trying to rush things now. Yeah, they are. You can see that. Darian Riley missing on a shot. Rebound by Harwood. Now they go back up top. This time Brandvold with the basketball. They'll slow it down a little bit. Got lots of time on the shot clock. 17 seconds. Harwood has the basketball. 2:38 left in the first quarter. 10-8 Snohomish by 2. Madeline Smith finds Harwood. Harwood ricochets one off the glass, goes out of bounds. There was a couple players down there. It ends up going off a Snohomish player, and it will be, or make that off a Lake Stevens player, it will be Snohomish basketball. Entering the game is freshman Emily Preach. We've seen a fair amount of her in the regular season and the one postseason game we did. Inbound pass goes to Madeline Smith. She is able to find Pollock. Pollock misses the shot, and hauling it down is Griffin, son of Dexter Griffin, longtime Wesco coach. They go the other way. Vandergriff has one rim out, and getting the board will be Pollock. Pollock leaves over on the left side. This time Harwood. Harwood now to Preach. Preach comes across the midcourt line. 2 minutes and 7 seconds left to go here in the first quarter. 10-8 Snohomish Panthers on top. Now we got a jump ball. And the Snohomish offensive end, Mike, it's going to, with the arrow, keep it with the Panthers. And I mentioned earlier, I like watching the chess match of what happens between the two teams, and Coach Randall Edens changing his defense and going to that 1-2-2 full court pressure, which has disrupted Snohomish, and now Lake Stevens is back within 2. Snohomish with the basketball. It's Harwood, goes down low to Preach. We got to travel. Got some of that going on now. And again, like you were saying, Snohomish starting to rush it a little bit. Lake Stevens has definitely seized momentum. It is going in their direction. Snohomish 10, Lake Stevens 8. 1:50 to go in the first quarter. Moving right along here at Everett Community College.
And that was a very well-designed play using Smith as a screen. Preach broke open, but had the happy feet.
Goes down inside. Vandergrift finds Griffin, and Kylie puts it in, the freshman. She now has 5, and we are tied at 10. Tied for the first time. Snohomish had held the lead throughout the first part of this quarter, but Lake Stevens on a 10-0 run to match the Snohomish 10-0 start.
And Kylie Griffin, she's a freshman, but I can guarantee the opposing coaches are going to be tired of her very, very quickly. The 4 years that she's going to be at Lake Stevens.
Oh my!
She is quite the ball player.
She definitely is. And we have a foul indication coming up. This one is going to be against the Lake Stevens player Vandergrift, her second. Keep an eye on that. Second team foul. Inbound pass, it goes to Snohomish. Each team with 2 team fouls, each team with 10 points. There's a shot fired up by, beautiful, Brandvold, 3-ball over on the left side outside the arc, 13-10 is Snohomish back on top with 1:05 left here in the first quarter. Boy, they needed that one.
They did, and Brandvold having a good battle out front there with Alex Briggs. Not looking to score a lot, but she just busted that 3. Big shot.
Griffin forces a pass over. It does get to Wilson. Haley goes in, and we got a foul as Haley's going to have 2 shots coming up. 52 seconds left here in the first quarter.
And
wow.
Haley Wilson averages 10.4, maybe playing a little bit in the shadow of Emily Vandergrift. Haley Wilson, a 6-foot senior, or 6-foot junior, maybe having to try to pick up some of the scoring load with Vandergrift on the Pines, and she earns a trip to the foul line.
Well, here's what's interesting. Yeah, Madeline Smith has 2 fouls, and the other big across the way, Emily Vandergrift with 2 fouls. Snohomish now with 3 team fouls, and the first shot was a miss by Wilson. She connects on the second one, and now Lake Stevens is 2 for 3 from the foul line. Snohomish has not been to the stripe as of yet. 13-11 is the score. Snohomish by 2. They got out to a 10-0 lead, and Lake Stevens came back and tied it. Much different type of game than the start of this one, as Pollock tries to go inside to Brandvold, and it's knocked away. Good hand in there by Alex Briggs, and it will be Snohomish basketball. There's 13 on the shot clock, 34 on the quarter clock. Snohomish will inbound here in their red uniforms. There they go. That's Pollock getting the basketball. Over on the right side, she goes to Harwood. Harwood shut off some. They got 5 seconds. Better make something happen. Harwood does a nice drive on the baseline, cutting right to the left, and then fires a reverse lay-in up to give Snohomish a 15-11 lead with now 13 seconds left. Shot clock is dead. And it's going to be thrown away. This time Briggs tosses it out, and Harwood gets it. They go the other direction. Brandvold trying to go with a cross-court pass down low right by the basket, and it's intended for Flitch, goes out of bounds. So 3 seconds left. Lake Stevens still has enough time to try to make something happen here.
Yeah, they do, but they're going to need a long pass. Right now, it's the most important thing is to not turn the ball over in the backcourt and just try to get the ball in.
15-11 the score. Here comes Lake Stevens. Briggs, shot from half court, went off the left side of the backboard, and that's the end of the first quarter. Our score is Lake Stevens trailing Snohomish by a score of 15-11. Snohomish 15, Lake Stevens 11. We'll take a timeout and come back with the second quarter. You are listening to STSPN.com and Fox Sports 1380 District 1 4A Girls Championship game. Action here on Fox Sports 1380 for a District 1 championship game for the girls in the second quarter of tonight's game, sponsored by the Lake Stevens Ace Hardware Store, proud locally owned supporters of high school athletics. And Lake Stevens, Alex Briggs misses a shot, comes off the rim right side, and here come the Snohomish Panthers into front court. 7:30 to go in the second quarter. Mark Ockett, Mike Buckholz.
And there's that play again where they run the guard off of the high post screen. That time it was Riley, and she was unable to finish the shot, lost the ball, scrambled for it. Now both teams playing tough man-to-man defense, and they're doing that by moving their feet and not reaching, Mark.
Now the ball will be Snohomish's. It goes to Pollock. Pollock looking around, finds Brandvold out on the right side. Now up top they go. It's Flitch. Plenty of time on the shot clock. Yeah, nice step-in move that time by Flitch. Puts it in. Snohomish up to a 6-point lead. So they're on a 7-1 run themselves.
Flitch quietly putting together a pretty solid game. And as the chess match continues, this time Snohomish comes out in a half-court trap. A little bit late on the trap, and the foul got called. It will be Lake Stevens' ball out of bounds on the side.
So the foul this time is against Snohomish's Katie Brandvold. That is her first foul and the fourth team foul. 7:03 left to go as Lake Stevens will inbound.
So far now Snohomish switches back into their man-to-man defense, still with what do I want to say here? The leading scorer on the Vandergrift.
Vandergrift's on the bench, yeah. All right, Lake Stevens with the ball. Oh, a block. There's Pollock getting up on Emma Smith. That one blocked, and Snohomish will get the basketball. Darian Riley into front court. Bounce pass up high to Pollock. Pollock looking around. She goes right side now, Flitch. Flitch over on the left side to Brandvold. Brandvold finds Riley. Riley with the basketball looking around as there's 10 on the shot clock. One gets loose a little bit. Brandvold comes over. 7 on the shot clock. Here they go. Pollock took a pass from Bernadette Beeman, and then there's a reach in and a foul.
And that time Dominic got called for the foul. She's a sophomore that can have a positive impact on the game, and that's too bad because there was only 4 seconds left on the clock. I never really liked having your players foul when there's under 5 seconds to go on the shot clock. You just give the other team a new 30.
There they go. It is Lake Stevens getting the ball, though. They steal it away. They'll come out of backcourt trailing by 6. Need to get some magic going here as Snohomish has got things cranked up a little bit more again. There's Alex Briggs. Bounce pass over on the right wing, and she finds Marissa Walton, who's entered the game. And Walton bangs it home from just a few feet out, and the score now is 17-13.
That was the old Stockton Malone screen and roll play.
It was.
Well done right there.
Snohomish missing down low, and a battle for the rebound. It's batted around. Who's going to get the hot potato down there? We got a jump ball is what's going to happen. It's going to stay with the Snohomish Panthers. 17-13 is the score. So Snohomish with 4 team fouls, 3 for Lake Stevens. Yeah. 2 great communities. We've been doing a lot of games involving these community teams, and it is so much fun.
And Darian Riley hit the deck after that shot. Might be a little bit shook up, but she stays in the game as she's the inbounder on the out-of-bounds play.
Pollock with the basketball, looking inside, drives the lane, pulls up just inside the foul line and makes the shot. Madison Pollock getting her first 2 of the game. 19-13, 5:34 left here in the second quarter. Brought to you by the Lake Stevens Ace Hardware Store. Wonder who they're pulling for tonight. There's a steal. Darian Riley goes to the basket. It is knocked out of bounds. That looks clean to me. There's no foul. Great defense by Kristen Glick, getting back there and doing a really good job. But we've got a player down as they call for the Snohomish trainer. Also Ken Roberts will come over there and take a look at things. And that looks like Darian Riley, who went face down as she had that one swatted down and away from her. So we know Darian pretty well, been following her throughout her career, and certainly hope she does okay through that. The athletic trainer for Snohomish is Sarah Larson. While we're at it, let's thank all the athletic trainers for the great job they do. They got to be ready to go in an instant, in a split second, to get out there and check out what the injury might be, to stabilize it, and to look for getting things set if it's a severe injury, which we certainly hope. And I literally pray before these games that none of these players have any severe injuries or any, you know they're going to get banged up and cuts here and there and stuff like that. That's par for the course if you're playing hard, but you just don't want to see them at any level getting getting hurt seriously.
Well, if I had to guess, it looked maybe more like hitting hard and getting the wind knocked out.
I think you're right.
So, and she had just been slightly shaken up on the play before that. And that's one of those plays with both players going full speed down the floor. She tried to elevate with the ball, and the defender got her hand on the ball, and that torques your body. You're not quite expecting that, so she did crash to the floor awkwardly. So hopefully, it's the wind knocked out, which kind of frightens you, and she's getting up and looks okay. And one of the things that I thought that maybe one of the X factors for this game might be the play of a freshman for Snohomish who also plays some point. Her name is Emily Preach. And
yes.
Is Preach in the game right now, number 14 subbing in? Or yes, she is. She's taken Darian Riley's place. And she's had some good minutes and plays solid, takes good care of the ball.
I agree with you. Preach has definitely looked good in the games we've seen. As the inbound pass, Snohomish gets it. They go to the basket, and it's knocked out of bounds. That was Harwood going for it, and it was knocked out by Griffin. So Preach will inbound on the right baseline. 5:18 left to go second quarter. Snohomish up by 19-13 score against the Lake Stevens Vikings. 6-point lead.
And Griffith doing a great job trying to get around and front the post. And there was an offensive foul called as Ellie Flitch caught her and hooked her and wouldn't let her get around, and they called an offensive foul. So that's a turnover on Snohomish.
Flitch called for her first foul, 15 foul, 3 team fouls for Lake Stevens. 5:05 left to go here in the second quarter. Snohomish up by a 6 spot. There's Griffin going in, got too far under and thought shot, but that one didn't come anywhere close as Preach wound up with a basketball and works her way out of back court, crossing into front court now to Pollock. Pollock looking around as Preach cuts through the lane, but there's nothing available there. Flitch now to Harwood. Back to Flitch, looks over on the right side. It's Beeman. Beeman now to Pollock. 10 on the shot clock. Pollock up high to Harwood. Harwood passes right side. Beeman drives right baseline, goes to the basket, puts it off the right corner of the backboard. The shot is not good. However, Mike, she got fouled.
Yeah, she did get fouled. Got sandwiched inside. Nice attack there on the right side. Got a little bit below the block, but certainly did a nice job. There was a lot of contact. One thing to watch for is to see how long Madeline Smith and also Vandergrift stay on the bench. They both have 2 fouls, and it might be that both coaches are content to keep them on the bench the first half.
Well, the foul was on Griffin. That is her first and the 4th team foul. The 2 foul shots were good by Bauman rather. So those are making it a score of 21-13. It is Beeman. There we go. So Lake Stevens with the ball. They are down by 8 points. Snohomish's biggest lead, 10 points at 10-0 before Lake Stevens ran off 10 straight to tie it. Now Snohomish has gained momentum back. With the basketball in front court, Glick pulls up with a shot high of the foul line, misses on that one, rims out. Beeman gets the rebound, and she's another one that puts in good minutes. She is a junior and will be back next year.
Lake Stevens just 1 of 5 so far in this quarter. Both teams, as I mentioned, play really good man-to-man defense, which is what they're staying with at this point in the game.
With the basketball is Harwood. Harwood to Flitch. Flitch now to Beeman. Beeman looks inside to Flitch, and it gets away from her. Griffin gets the loose one, picks it up, comes out of backcourt. Oh, that's a tough break. She stepped out of bounds right down below us, and that one just on the black, and you could see it there. She did her best to try to avoid getting called, but she was out of bounds.
Yeah, and that's one of those things, looking up court for her teammate, took her eyes off the ball, mishandled it a little bit, and now all of a sudden the turnovers are starting to pile up as Griffin got caught just kind of stumbling around trying to save the ball there.
21-13, Snohomish can get their lead back up to 10 or so. There's a pass to Pollock. Pollock goes outside. Wide open jumper is going to be a miss by Beeman. She had a 3-ball wide open, missed off the rim. Good look at it as Lake Stevens will get the board here. Come the Vikings out of back court. Anna Dominic was involved in boarding that ball, and Lake Stevens with the basketball now. Glick, 16 on the shot clock. They go around. Glick outside the arc, gets a pass, and thought shot now has to go left side. What we got? A whistle?
Timeout.
Timeout called by Lake Stevens. We'll take a timeout as well. Our score in the game is Snohomish 21, Lake Stevens 13. 3:01 left to go in the second quarter. This is Fox Sports 1380 coverage of the 4A District 1 Girls Championship. Stay with us. Tied in tonight with STSPN.com and also Fox Sports 1380 as we have a nice partnership going where you can see it with the video on the World Wide Web. There's a pick by Madison Pollock. She goes the distance, coast to coast, lays it in, and has 4 points all in the quarter. A 10-point lead for Snohomish again, as they want, at least this point in time, they got the edge for that #1 seed into regionals. A good defense coming through strong was Harwood, and chasing a pass that was aimed for Griffin, and it's going to be a jump ball. It'll stay with Lake Stevens. Returning to the lineup, good to see Darian Riley, who looked like perhaps had the wind knocked out of her a little bit earlier. She returns for the Panthers. Also, Beeman comes back in, and departing will be Harwood.
Yeah, Pollock, also, we talk about her offensive ability, but she's had a couple of really nice defensive plays, and I'm sure Coach Edens did not want to come out of a timeout and turn the ball over for a layup.
Driving with a reverse layup is Wilson. Wilson misses that one, and the rebound is going to be grabbed by Snohomish. 23-13 the score. 2:27 left to go in the second quarter. Mark Ocken, Mike Buckholz, also Tom Lafferty, Bill Kusler here, Pat Castro, Maggie Buckholz helping with statistics, and we'll have another game coming up after this one. Boys 4A District 1 championship between Monroe and Jackson. That's following this game with Tom and Bill. Pass inside, and that goes with a miss by Pollock. Pollock goes for the rebound. It's knocked out of bounds, and it will be a foul as well because there's some pushing going on right there, and that foul is going to be on Riley, her first. That is the 16th foul against the Panthers.
Pollock did not see her teammate wide open as Pollock rolled off a screen down to the right block, and she got double teamed. Her teammate Haley Wilson Ellie Flitch wide open on the block, and Pollock shot instead and missed the shot.
Call Tom will give you the numbers at halftime, or get you the some just different summaries of what's going on, then we'll get some numbers to you. There's a lay-in, and they needed it from Haley Wilson over on the left side because now it's 23-15, but Lake Stevens just seems to kind of have the steam knocked out of it right now as Snohomish has been in command throughout most of this half.
Yeah, but they do jump back into the press, which caused problems earlier in the half.
There's a jumper inside the arc by Bernadette Beeman from about 15 feet out, right side, and a 10-point lead back, Mike.
Yeah, that was actually Madison Pollock.
Oh, excuse me.
That was that outside shot. She's deadly in that area, too.
34 not being the shooter, 24 was the shooter. 25-15, we're at Everett Community College up here on the track level here at the Sports and Fitness Center. Generally a very good vantage point. Sometimes you get screened out once in a while. 15 points for Lake Stevens. They're trying to add to that with 1:14 to go here in the second quarter. Going down low is Wilson. Wilson goes to put it up. It's blocked out of bounds. Last touch by Ellie Flitch. And it will be staying with Lake Stevens, but they got a ways to go here. They're down by the 10 points, and they had that good run earlier, trailing 10-0, came back and tied it. But Mike, right now they're kind of, I think, trying to get to halftime and work on some things in the locker room, come back firing.
Yeah, a lot of one-on-one play by Lake Stevens.
Yeah, you're right.
When Flitch scored the previous time down, it was a set play. And there we have another turnover was Dominic with their head down, driving to the hoop. There was a gap there, but just unable to finish off the play. And another turnover for Lake Stevens.
Goes out of bounds, and it will be Snohomish basketball. Now they're up by 10. What's that again, Brandon? All right, with the basketball, Snohomish, as we get set, make sure our signal's strong. And we have an out-of-bounds call. Looks like a foul away from the ball or something to that effect as Riyaj Kanji will make the call towards us over here. That foul is going to be whistled against Glick. Glick with her first foul and the 15th foul. Snohomish drives to the basket and not going to connect on it as Flitch went in towards the hoop, and we got a foul coming up. This one will be against the Snohomish Panthers. I think that's going to be on Flitch. That will be. It's her second foul and the 7th team foul. They go the other way because this was not an offensive foul. This was a loose ball foul, and they're going to send Griffin to the line shooting 1-1.
Yeah, Brandvold a little bit out of control that time, and she got that shot rejected by Kylie Griffith, who not only blocked the shot but got the rebound as well, and then got fouled, and that's why she's at the foul line now.
Griffin goes to the line, makes the first foul shot. Griffin has a total of 6 points in the game. She is 2 for 2 from the line. Her first 5 points coming in the first quarter.
And she also has 2 block shots in the game, Mark.
Well, she's trying to do her part. Hits the second foul shot, now has 7 points, and the Lake Stevens Vikings are 4 for 5 from the foul line overall. 43 seconds left here in the second quarter. Brought to you by the Lake Stevens Ace Hardware Store. Snohomish with the basketball.
Lake Stevens back in that 1-2-2 pressure. It took them 14 seconds to get across half court. That's not much time to run your offense.
Snohomish with the ball in front court now. 10 on the shot clock. They go right baseline. There's Pollock missing a shot. Lake Stevens gets the rebound. It will be Marissa Walton. And coming up on Lake Stevens, 20 on 20 that time, it's Glick getting the ball, but Darian Rowley coming right there, ties her up. Jump ball, smart heads-up defense.
Yeah, well, it was, the shot was short, and Lake Stevens had a chance for the last shot and close the gap. Unfortunately, they lose the ball. That's a turnover, actually.
It is, so there it goes to the Snohomish Panthers. Yeah, we got
Bakery open.
Bakery open, so there it is.
Snohomish cooks up a turnover of their own, and so Lake Stevens may have an opportunity for the last shot here, but the way the turnovers have been going here kind of quickly, I'm maybe hesitant to say anything about that. The defense has been tough. It does cause a lot of turnovers.
Really important, too, for Lake Stevens to get the basketball and be able to score right here, because they score, they'll also have it to start the second half. In front court now, Emma Smith throws one up. Oh, boy, right before the buzzer went off. That was not pretty, but it ends the half. And Lake Stevens down by 8 points. Snohomish leading this one by a score of 25-17 as we go into halftime. Mark Ockett and also Mike Buchholz will bring you the second half. Tom Lafferty, you're all ready to go again for our halftime, which is going to be sponsored by Erickson Furniture for the best seats in the game.
So we will take a break. Again, halftime score here, Snohomish 25, Lake Stevens 17. This is Snohomish County Western Conference Basketball, the 2015 4A Northwest District Girls Basketball Tournament on STSPN.com and Fox Sports 1380. Oh, let's go down to the coach.
I've sent in the retirement papers, so kind of a bittersweet, but it's the way it goes. You gotta stop sometime.
Yeah, and have some more fun outside of that as Steele and Lake Stevens has the basketball. Go ahead, Mike.
Well, I was going to say that, there's Vandergrift.
Vandergrift missed another inside, put too much on it off the pass from Glick, and it on the trying to get it back, ended up getting called for the foul. That's going to be her third And the first team foul against Lake Stevens. Snohomish does not have a team foul as of yet, with 5:36 to go here in the third quarter.
And I think Vandergrift is feeling the weight of the game, the pressure a little bit. She's doing what she's supposed to do, but just pressing a little bit. She needs a couple of things to go her way to get herself into the flow of the game.
Darian Riley with the basketball comes into front court, passes over on the left side. Katie Brandvold back to Riley, between the circles, tight. And now they work it. It goes Brandvold to Madeline Smith, Harwood, Riley. Left side, Brandvold, three-point jumper, no good off the backside of the rim. Vandergrift fights for the rebound, ends up with it. Will come out of backcourt with a left-handed dribble, now crosses over and passes right side to Glick. Let her handle it, 5:01 to go in the third quarter. And the 10-point lead for Snohomish, 29-19. Glick passes left wing, wide open over there is Briggs. Fires a three ball, rims out. Vandergrift goes for the rebound, misses on a shot, tapped around. It continues to roll around, and there's Harwood on the floor on her knees, gets that basketball and dishes off to Brandvold. Brandvold will come out of backcourt, and now they give it to Riley. Riley comes into front court, and Harwood gets it on the left wing to Madeline Smith. Down low to Pollock. Pollock puts up a shot. She is hacked. And that's going to be on Vandergrift, which will be her fourth foul. They're going to have to put her on the bench. Have to put her in a chair over there. Wow.
And Coach Edens had switched his defense to a 1-2-2, perhaps with the thought of trying to help keep Vandergrift out of foul trouble, but not a good decision by Vandergrift as she did the infamous judo chop right across the arms of Pollock, and that's not going to get it done.
Well, they're going to have to make a substitution. Vandergrift will depart. Coming in will be Anna Dominic. She's a sophomore, replacing her, and Dominic is a 5'9" sophomore. The first foul shot was good by Pollock. The next one also rolls in good. So Pollock has a total of 8 points in the game. That was her first trip to the foul line. 6 points from the field in the second quarter. 31-19, 12-point lead for Snohomish. Mike, this is their biggest lead of the game.
It is. Snohomish staying with that man-to-man defense, and somebody's got to step up for Lake Stevens and make a play.
Driving in, trying to make a play was Kristen Glick. Glick got fouled as she went in, and that is going to have a couple of shots from the line. The foul is on Pollock. That is her first and the first team foul.
Glick, averaging just 2 points a game, does a really good job of spin dribble, made it down the right side of the lane, missed the shot, but she's at the free throw line and makes it good.
Glick with her first point of the game right there, coming from the stripe. The Lake Stevens Vikings are 5 for 6 from the foul line. Snohomish is a perfect. I have them 4 for 4. Next one, not good, so she misses the second one. Snohomish gets the rebound.
I was going to say Lake Stevens is 6 of 20 at halftime for 30% and just 1 of 7 from the field to start the third quarter here. So things are ice cold for the Vikings.
Harwood passes to Riley. Riley up to the high post to Madeline Smith, to the cutter coming through on the back door. That's Brandvold, who puts it in for 2, and it's a 13-point lead for the Panthers at 33-20. Snohomish trying to grab that #1 regional seed.
Madeline Smith with the assist, same set, 1-4 high into the high post.
Briggs misses, and Smith gets the rebound as the Snohomish can work on putting some distance between themselves and Lake Stevens. And also, Mike, Snohomish can take some time off if they'd like to try to, but they get a little impatient, try to go inside to Pollock, and Pollock can't quite get to it. Goes out of bounds off her fingers, and it will be Lake Stevens ball. We get a timeout, a full timeout called by the Lake Stevens Vikings. We'll take a timeout as well here in the third quarter. 3:32 left in this 4A Girls District 1 Championship game. Our score is Snohomish 33, Lake Stevens 20. This is Fox Sports 1380. Center, high above the court. Mark Ockett along with Mike Buckholz, and there isn't a bad seat or a track in the house here. No matter where you see this game really well. I actually stood over there in the end zone watching from up here on the track in between games, and I mean, it is just a spectacular view. And there's a lady that was out there on one of the treadmills. The treadmills we can see from here because they have the shades up. You can stand and work out and watch a high school basketball game or a college basketball game in here. That's pretty darn cool.
It is. Getting back to some of the stats, Lake Stevens had half as many. They had 10 turnovers and only got 20 shots off in the first half. So as Coach Eden said at halftime, they need to do a better job of taking care of the ball, and that's been tough against that man-to-man Snohomish defense.
Lake Stevens with the basketball. It is Haley Wilson. Wilson now goes to Griffin. Griffin has it knocked away. She tries to pass. It's grabbed by Harwood. Harwood drives to the basket. Look at that. There is Griffin. Kylie, the freshman, blocking it, knocking it out of bounds, and it will stay with Snohomish. Good defensive play. They got to make something work like that on the offensive end, though.
And I believe that's her fourth block shot. Snohomish high-low set.
It worked. They go Riley to Smith, and Smith puts it in. 35-20 is the score, a 15-point lead for the Panthers. Their biggest lead of the game with 3:12 to go here in the quarter. They haven't started the quarter clock. It was stuck there for a minute. Now they finally figure it out. There's a three-point jumper needed by Lake Stevens. They get it. Alex Briggs. They worked it all the way into front court, and then they finally started the shot. That benefits Lake Stevens a little bit, trailing now by 12 points.
And they did hit that three, and you talked about taking time off, but Snohomish still needs to attack. It's a little early to be doing that.
Well, missed shot by Riley, but the rebound pulled down by Harwood. Snohomish working hard for the game here as, oh my goodness, Harwood finds Madeline Smith. Madeline Smith, a 360, steps into a shot, puts it off the glass left side, and a 14-point lead for the Panthers, 37-23, 2:30 to go, third quarter.
Man-to-man defense for Snohomish. Lake Stevens doing a better job of sharing the basketball, but settling for three-point shots now.
Missing on a three-point shot was Alex Briggs as Snohomish and Lake Stevens go for the rebound. And it looks like a foul is going to be called against the Panthers, going for it right there. That's going to be on Madeline Smith, her third. And team foul number 2 against Snohomish. Team fouls are even at 2. No shots on this one. It's going to be an inbound pass from Glick over off the left baseline. Snohomish is going to sub in. They'll bring in Flitch. And actually, this is a smart move. She's got the 3 fouls. Give her some time on the bench to reload a little bit and bring Flitch in, who actually put in some good minutes in the first half.
And that's a really good point. That's actually an outstanding coaching move, especially with Vandergrift on the bench for Lake Stevens. Smith had a good stretch. Let's give her a break, and nice observation.
2-2 are the foul tally, and Snohomish will bring the ball into court now as it's Riley. Riley going to left side to Harwood. Harwood now to Pollock in front court over far side. Back to Harwood. Riley handling it. Now, again, Mike, they're working some time off the clock here, trying to set up for the shot, see what they can come up with here, and having to adjust some without Smith out in the lineup. There's a pass left side. It goes to Riley. Riley, 3-ball off the backside of the rim. Harwood gets the rebound, passes to Brandvold. Brandvold with the basketball between the circles. So, see, they get a fresh 30.
They do. And basically now they're working Flitch down on the low block, taking Madeline Smith's place, and there is Flitch right there.
This time it is Harwood finding Flitch. Flitch does not make the shot. However, she does get fouled, and that foul is going to be on Glick, which will be her second foul, the third team foul, and we have Flitch going to the line. Has 6 points all in the first half. This is her first trip to the foul line. Snohomish up 37-23, make it 38-23 as they match their biggest lead of 15 points. Lake Stevens will bring in Marissa Walton, who had 2 points in the first half, averages 5.9 per game, and Flitch will get ready to go again. There's the next one. It is good. So now Snohomish with their biggest lead at 39-23. That's a 16-point differential. 1:32 left to go, third quarter.
And Flitch very quietly putting together a really solid game for herself, getting a lot of valuable minutes as a starter, but picking up the slack with Madeline Smith out.
Pass over on the left side. Getting the basketball will be Emma Smith. 39-23. Lake Stevens goes to Griffin. Griffin puts one in, thuds off the area between the board and the rim, and it's knocked out of bounds. Last touch by the Panthers. Lake Stevens ball.
Yeah, Snohomish swarming all over Griffin as she goes inside, double and triple teamed. A little bit of frustration as she works to get free, but when she turns, somebody's on top of her and she cannot get the shot off. Lake Stevens, though, does have the ball out of bounds.
Lake Stevens will inbound. For them is Kristen Glick. Glick now goes to Haley Wilson, drives left baseline, puts it up off the rim, but she's going to have 2 shots.
Lake Stevens just 1 of 10 from the field so far here in the third quarter, Mark.
The foul will be on Flitch, her 3rd. That is team foul number 3. They're even up in that category. Shot is on the way and no good. A miss by Haley Wilson, who's now 1 for 3 from the foul line, has a total of 3 points in the game.
With the 3rd foul on Flitch now, she needs to be careful as well because the 2 talls in there both have 3 fouls, Madeline Smith and Flitch, and so that means Madison Pollock might find herself solo inside there playing some defense. That changes things.
Haley Wilson makes the 2nd foul shot, a 15-point difference, 39-24, 1:01 left to go in the quarter, third quarter action. Into front court, Brandvold, there's a 2-on-1 break, drives to the basket, puts it up, puts it in, and is fouled. So Brandvold now has 7 points for a chance to make it 8 and a 17-point lead for Snohomish. Pulling further and further away. The foul will be on Haley Wilson, her 1st, and that is team foul number 4. Going to the foul line is Brandvold with the 1 shot. She had a 3-ball in the first half and has hit 2 2-pointers here in the second half in the third quarter. Stands a little bit deep in the well there away from the foul line, about 8 inches off of it, and makes the foul shot. It works. Mike, why is that? Why would you say she does that, stands back a little bit?
Well, mostly it's a free thing. If you make them from back there, don't change it. If it's not fixed, don't. If it's not broke, don't fix it.
That's correct.
So if she's comfortable and she makes a good percentage from there, then that's why they do it. I've worked with lots of different free throw shooters, and there's a variety of things that work and some things that don't work. I could tell you some real strange things about how it works, but a lot of it's mental.
Foul is on Harwood. That's her 2nd and the 4th team foul. Lake Stevens with the basketball, 40 seconds left here in the third quarter, fourth quarter coming up. Pass over on the left side, putting up a jumper is Glick. Glick gets it. That's a 2-point basket off a pass from Griffin, and so Glick now has 3 points all in the quarter. 42-26, 27 seconds left. There is some time on the shot clock, just a little bit of a difference there. As Preach is now in the game for the Snohomish Panthers in the red uniform. Bounce pass over on the left side. There's a pressure defense. Good job by Lake Stevens as Glick gets the interception, goes down low to Griffin. Griffin lays it in off the right side, and it's a 42-28 lead for Snohomish. As the 17-point lead is down to 12, and anything can happen. Lots of time left still. There's a pass to Flitch. Flitch puts one up and off the front of the rim, no good. And we are through 3 quarters here at Everett Community College. Our score is Snohomish 42, Lake Stevens 28. Fourth quarter coming up. Stay tuned with more coming up on your radio station here with the District 1 4A Girls Championship.
All right, and we are through 3 quarters of play right here at Everett Community College. 14-point deficit for Lake Stevens, but if they're to come back, this guy might know how they can do it. This is Dexter Griffin, longtime coach at Mariner High School for the boys, now watching his daughter Kylie play for the girls. And Dexter, what does Lake Stevens need to do to get back in this game?
We just need to start playing with more energy and more urgency right now. Right now we're just being lethargic and slow. We usually play with more urgency than this. And then we also need to get Vandergrift going again. That'll be a big help.
Now, unless they can come back and get the victory, Lake Stevens is going to have to play the noon game on Saturday against Monroe. They split during the regular season. What kind of a matchup is that going to be like?
It'll be a matchup of the bigs again. They do a good job of high-low, and we do as well. So it'll be a battle inside. So we got to win that inside battle, and we'll be victorious if we do.
Kylie, only a freshman, averaging almost 10 points a game this season. How would you assess her first year as a varsity player?
Well, awesome, because this is the first time she's ever played outside on the perimeter, and she's come along quite well. I'm very proud of her.
Okay, we'll let you get back to being a dad. Thank you very much. Back to you guys.
Madeline Smith kicks it back out to Darian Riley, down low inside to Smith. There she comes back into the game, and she draws a foul going to the basket on the left side. Madeline is a junior, and we've been seeing her play for a few years now. She's a good one, and she was also one of our award winners on the game the other day. She's a nice young lady, and these kids are just great.
Snohomish attacking the 1-2-2 trapping defense now of Lake Stevens. Coach Eden's trying to do some different things to get his team going, but the success of the Panthers has been trying to get the ball in deep to their post players, and Madeline Smith makes them pay on a fine pass from Riley.
Now with 2 on-the-money foul shots, she's got 14 points in the game, and the foul that time was on Marissa Walton. That is her first 15 fouls. Snohomish has 14 fouls. Just getting underway here in the fourth quarter. Snohomish up to a 16-point lead again at 44-28. Excuse me, it was cut down to 14. I said 12 earlier. But we have a foul now against Snohomish.
That's going to be on, I believe, Madeline Smith pushing on Kylie Griffin underneath, unless it got called on somebody else. But
I think it's Shaylee. Shaylee got called for it.
Okay. Double teaming Griffin underneath.
So Shaylee called for her 3rd foul. And the basket, they make it? No, is a rebound as Lake Stevens couldn't connect. And it will be Darian Riley with the basketball to Madeline Smith. Now goes to Harwood. Over to Riley. Harwood over on the left side outside the arc to Madeline Smith. She finds Pollock. Pollock, couple of dribbles, pull-up jumper is off the front of the rim. Harwood gets the rebound way out high to Riley. A good rotation by Snohomish as they work around Pollock. Pollock finds Bramble. Bramble misses a launcher outside the arc, and it's going to be rebounded by Lake Stevens. Here they come out of backcourt. Alex Briggs, they go down on the right side. It is Griffin getting the pass. Griffin goes to the basket. She gets hacked on the way in. 7 minutes exactly left here in the fourth quarter, and it's going to send Griffin to the line with 2 shots. And the 16th foul. Now there is the 4th foul against Madeline Smith. 16 fouls against Snohomish. So Madeline Smith going to have to play the rest of this game with 4 fouls unless she fouls out, as they'll bring Flitch back in and put Smith on the bench.
And that's a good call, because if she were to foul out, even though they have the lead, that's sort of a mental agony, and it could be take the wind out of the sails, and you want to make now you have your leading scorer available down the stretch should you need that.
Foul shot is good, and the next one on the way rims out of there by Griffin, and the rebound grabbed by Vandergriff. Vandergriff now goes to Alex Briggs. Briggs to Wilson. Wilson, nice step-in move, gets the basket. She weaved between 2 defenders, lays it up and in, and it's 44-31 as Lake Stevens will call a timeout. We'll take a break too. You are listening to the fourth quarter, brought to you by WescoAthletics.com here on Fox Sports 1380 and STSPN.com. Hey, Todd. First quarter, it is Arlington 10 and Stanwood 9. So Arlington went on a 7-0 run to take, what is it now, a 17-9 lead? So there we go. As the Snohomish has the basketball. And a timeout is going to be called by Snohomish. Let's just keep it right here. What are they going to be talking about? This is a 30.
First of all, you want to make sure with the lead that you have that you're taking care of the basketball. The other thing that you don't want to be doing is committing silly fouls, because if you foul Lake Stevens, that gives them a chance to score with the clock stopped. The clock is the enemy of Lake Stevens right now, and Lake Stevens got back to within 10, although it's up to 13 right now. You still want to be careful. Just make sure that you execute. You're patient. Don't play like you're 13 points behind. You're 13 points ahead.
Quite a week. I'm having quite a great time. We're getting a chance to work together a lot. I'm going through, I always call this versatility week because I get to do a lot of stuff. 15 games in 9 days on radio, TV, and public address, and loving every minute of it. Is Tom and I getting to do a lot of games together too. Ball is out of bounds. Last touch by Snohomish. Got the Huskies tomorrow night doing public address as they host my alma mater. the Washington State Cougars. That should be interesting.
And Snohomish comes out of a timeout and immediately turns it over, which is exactly what you do not want to do. Lake Stevens with the basketball.
Lake Stevens in front court right now. It is Alex Briggs trying to save it from going out of bounds, and she does, but right to a Snohomish player. Madeline Smith able to keep the basketball as she dishes off to Darian Riley. Riley passes left side to Shaylee Harwood. Harwood now goes to Madison Pollock. Pollock's going to throw it away. Picked off by Kylie Griffin. Griffin goes right side to Vandergrift. Vandergrift goes in. She can't hang on to it. Out of bounds. Last touch by Lake Stevens. It'll be Snohomish basketball with the lead of 13 points. And this is that pivotal time where if you're Lake Stevens, that would have been big to get a basket right there, because then you cut that lead down to 10 or 11 points. But no, Snohomish has it as they get to the 1/4 point into the 4th quarter.
Or a couple of free throws so you can score with the clock stop.
There's a 2-point basket just inside the line for Snohomish was Madison Pollock. She has 10 points.
So instead it goes the other way. So
missing on a drive is Alex Briggs. Snohomish battles for the rebound and wins that battle, as getting it will be Brandvold. And now they go over on the right side. Getting the pass is Darian Riley. Riley is able to find Harwood. Harwood now to Madeline Smith. Smith to Riley. Double team. Madeline Smith with the ball. Back out there playing with the 4 foul. Jumper left side. 3-point basket is good by Pollock off a pass from Shaylee Harwood, as Pollock now has 13 points, and it's 49-31, an 18-point lead for the Panthers. That is their biggest lead of the game.
Well, you know, Lake Stevens has got to make something happen, and now they've ran out of energy, and not all of their players are even in position on the trap, so they're having a tough time, and the Panthers are just making them pay.
With the basketball, Snohomish as they steal it away, and a big 18-point lead. They can just take a lot of time off the clock right here. Getting the ball is Smith as they work it around to Riley. Riley with a 3-ball, no good. And Smith gets a rebound, fresh 30. That could almost put it away. This is a 6-possession game, and 4:28 to go in the 4th quarter. As the crowd going nuts down below for the Panthers. Their fans travel well, so did Lake Stevens. Good crowd here tonight. Driving to the basket the other way after Snohomish didn't make something happen on their end is Vandergrift for Lake Stevens. She gets fouled. We'll have 2 shots coming up. Yeah, look down below. There's a good amount of people in the building.
But the Lake Stevens fans have found very little to cheer about, and here we have Vandergrift at the free throw line. And I know I said that you don't want to commit silly fouls, but you did stop the wide open layup there, so you're going to make her try to earn them from the foul line, and she misses the first, so ultimately that works out to be a pretty good foul.
Foul that time was against Darian Riley, her second, 7th team foul. 18-point lead for Snohomish as Vandergrift getting ready to go once again. And Vandergrift is a senior. This could be her last game, kind of looking that way right now as Vandergrift makes the second shot. 49-32.
Well, it's not her last game because
not what's that?
It's not her last game because
that's right. Now, wait a minute. She's got Saturday against Monroe with a loss right here, so she's still alive for her high school career. So Monroe will play the loser of this game. There's Snohomish going down low inside. That's Madeline Smith.
And Vandergrift is going to get called for her 5th foul. Excellent roll. Fronting Vandergrift doing a good job of fronting Smith, but quick reversal of the ball by Snohomish. And of course, one-on-one with Madeline Smith, that's a tough job, and Vandergrift is going to go to the bench with her 5th foul and give her a chance to regroup and come back strong on Saturday. Madeline Smith at the line mark.
That's right, so Vandergrift is done, but yes, she would get a chance, and you never know. They win that game, and she could be playing for quite some time, all the way to the state tournament. It's not over till it's over. So Vandergrift's had a great career at Lake Stevens High School. Madeline makes the first foul shot. Here comes the next one. We got Madeline and Madison right next to each other, 24 and 32, or 30. And there's a second one is a miss, and that's going to be a timeout called by Snohomish, as Madeline Smith has 15 points. And we'll take a timeout as well. 50-32, Snohomish is leading by 18 points. This is Fox Sports 1380 coverage of the district championship for girls 4A District 1 right here. Stay with us. Hey.
Adam. Back here live, and let's go back to Mark Ock and Mike Buckholz.
Thank you, Tom. As it's 50-32, the Snohomish Panthers leading the Lake Stevens Vikings by 18 points here on Fox Sports 1380. We have another game coming up after this one, and that will be the boys district championship for 4A, featuring the Monroe Bearcats and the Jackson Timberwolves. Tom Lafferty with the play-by-play, Bill Kusler with the color on that one for you. Brandon Hamilton handling the dials and switches all the way through this day back at Fox Sports 1380's penthouse headquarters. Back at headquarters, Snohomish with the ball after the timeout. 3:49 left to go in the fourth quarter, Mike.
And Lake Stevens not giving up, staying with that half-court teaming as Snohomish trying to work the ball, clock running down.
With a shot missing will be Brandvold. Air ball over the top, but Pollock gets the rebound. They have no time on the shot clock, literally, except that it comes off the rim, and getting the rebound will be Brandvold, puts it in. It's a 20-point lead, 52-32, and Snohomish starting to walk away with this one. They can smell that district championship, and I just don't see Lake Stevens coming back at this point. There's a pass. It's going to go this time to Glick. Glick misses the shot. Getting the rebound for the Snohomish Panthers will be Riley. Riley passes left side to Harwood. Harwood now will go to Pollock. They work it around, just taking time off the clock. That's the smart thing to do. 52-32, 2:52 left to go in the fourth quarter. Snohomish up by 20 points, 6 on the shot clock. Pass from Riley to Smith over right side. Brandvold, three-point jumper comes off the rim, and Smith pokes it out to Riley, so they get a fresh 30, and Snohomish going to win the district championship. Now there is Pollock with a three-ball left side. It is good off a pass from Harwood, and so Pollock with 7 in the quarter, 15 in the game. How about these Panthers? Driving the other direction is Glick missing, and Smith will get the rebound, playing with 4 fouls, but things have let up here. Snohomish with a 23-point lead. They're going to pick up the W and call a timeout right now. So let's keep it right here. What are you thinking about as far as player of the game and Papa Murphy's turning point play of the game?
Well, I have several thoughts. First of all, turning point player of the game. I thought Katie Brandvold made an outstanding play right at the end of the third quarter, and what that did was gave Snohomish a double-digit lead. She got a steal and a layup and got fouled on it, made the three-point play. And since that time, Snohomish has continuously just added to that lead, and I thought some of the players for Snohomish did a really good job while Madeline Smith was on the bench. So I'm going to withhold judgment here for a little bit. Maybe we'll talk it over.
Sure. All right, folks, it's 55-32, Snohomish with a 23-point lead. Mark Ock with Mike Buckholz. Tom Lafferty, Bill Kusler bringing you the next game, and Pat Castro here as well to do statistics when that one gets cooking. Good to see Pat out here. Good to see everybody. It's we've been together doing stuff for a long time, couple decades, and we're still young guys.
And we got some of the subs in for Snohomish as Coach Roberts has cleared his bench, and the ball goes through the hands of Morgan Loberg, and it is turned back over to Lake Stevens now.
Lake Stevens basketball, 2:03 left to go in the fourth quarter. They trail by 23 points, 55-32 here on Fox Sports 1380 with the basketball. Katie Saylor goes over on the left side. It ends up to Ashley Richardson. Richardson puts one up from the left side. Good-looking shot, nice move. Gets her first 2 points of the game, 55-34. Ashley Richardson is a sophomore. In front court now, the Snohomish Panthers with the basketball. That will be Beeman. Beeman able to find Preach, the freshman, to Beeman. Back up top. Over to Preach now, right side, outside the arc. 10 on the shot clock. Looking outside, she finds another player just entering the game for the Snohomish Panthers, driving with the basketball and dropping it in. It looks like Morgan Loberg. Loberg gets the 2 points. She's a junior, and she was fouled, so she has a chance to make a three-point play. Also, Snohomish will bring in Julia Weeks, who is a sophomore. Departing the game is Preach, so Panthers getting some players who don't normally see action or see little action, and JV-type players some action out there. Foul this time was whistled against Riley O'Toole, her first 7th team foul. Missed shot on the free throw And here come the Lake Stevens Vikings.
And looks like it's going to be Lake Stevens playing against Monroe, and that's going to be a tough matchup this Saturday. Snohomish finally really putting together 4 pretty good quarters in a row.
That's the key. So, yeah, that game would be at noon on Saturday. Monroe and Snohomish broadcast live here on Fox Sports 1380 with Tom Lafferty and Bill Kusler. We'll do the games over at Jackson in the evening. The foul is going to be whistled against Lake Stevens' Ashley Richardson, her first 8th team foul at the foul line. Panthers sending over there Loberg. So here we go. I'm making sure these numbers are okay because Loberg is listed as 12 on the roster here. We also have a number 10 out there for Snohomish. Not sure who that is. I thought that might have been Loberg because that's what they have her in the JV. At the foul line, Loberg attempts the foul shot, and it's going to be no good. They get the rebound. It goes out to Preach. Morgan Marshall is out there wearing number 10 for the Snohomish Panthers. So she got that basket a little bit earlier. This time of year, they'll bring some players up. 57-34, bring them up from AAA to play on the Major League team. With the basketball, Morgan Marshall passes left side. Snohomish with 6 on the shot clock, 41 on the quarter clock. And time just winding down as our all, who we grew up listening to, and I'm sure you did too, Bob Blackburn would call it garbage time.
Bob Blackburn with some amazing calls, perhaps the most famous one of Slick Watts stealing the jump tip against the Portland Trailblazers and going for the solo layup for the win. That was Bob Blackburn going crazy. Love Bob Blackburn.
He was awesome. He raised a lot of us on basketball and showed it great respect and taught us the game as guys that were just before Calabro, but Kevin Calabro is amazing. We certainly listened to plenty of him as there's a foul on the other end. 57-34. That foul is, or out of bounds, I guess is all it is. Lake Stevens will have the basketball. Kevin and Bob worked together when Kevin was transitioning to become the Sonic announcer. Bob passed away a few years ago, and he had a great influence on many, many of us. Great man, too.
A lot of players getting their name in the scorebook down here as they haven't played much, and they try to get something in the statistic, and if it's a foul, so be it. We would call that a billionaire if you get a foul.
The foul that time was against Saylor, her first 9th team foul. Or check that, that would be for Snohomish, Julia Weeks, her first 8th team foul. And so the foul shot is good, so that time it counts for Lundquist. 57-35, she gets one of them. And Snohomish will have the basketball coming out of backcourt. 57-35, 22-point lead. 18 seconds left here in the 4th quarter. Just winding things down. Weeks chasing for the basketball, and now it's going to be picked up by Lake Stevens. They'll just come the other direction, try to get something. Emma Smith with the ball, passes up high, and a jump shot is a miss by Riley O'Toole. Smith goes for it. It's going to be grabbed by Snohomish. And finally, the misery is ended for the Lake Stevens Vikings. They'll reload, get set to go, and play against the Monroe Bearcats coming up on Saturday at noon. You got to win that game to get in the region. If you lose, you're done. So it's another loser-out game that Monroe will be dealing with Snohomish. Very excited. They win the game 57-35. And we're going to go down on the field. Let's take a look at our player of the game, Mike. Who we want to go with?
Player of the game is Katie Brandvold, 5'9" sophomore, finished with 10 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists for Snohomish. Turning point player of the game goes to Ellie Flitch, 6'2", junior post player for Snohomish.
Good call, Mike, as we go down. Adam is going to get interviews. He's going to talk to Katie Brandvold, and we'll see if he can get Flitch if time allows. But player of the game, Skagit Bank player of the game, Katie Brandvold, the sophomore, coming through with 10 points and doing a lot of great things for the Panthers as they are in a bit of a huddle with, or in a team huddle with Ken Roberts. Ken's going to get that set up. Ken in his 15th year, and here we go. Well, they're an enthusiastic bunch jumping up and down there as Snohomish. You just love to see this. Let's go to Adam right now.
Yeah, they are loud as they should be down here. Katie, congratulations, first of all. How does it feel? You guys are going on to state.
It feels amazing. Yeah, going on state as a team is awesome.
You guys kind of back and forth game all at least early on. You guys kind of picked up the momentum in the second half, playing inside out a lot. How were you able to do it?
Well, Maddie's such a great post. It's easy to like get it into the post when she's posting up, and it's just having an amazing team like that and bringing the energy. It's really easy to be able to play with them, and so like getting it inside out. It's with having a post like that, it's pretty easy.
How long do you think you'll enjoy this one until you start focusing on state?
Probably the weekends, and then we'll be focusing on state as well, but it's pretty great to be first in districts.
Kitty, congratulations. Go celebrate with your team.
Thank you.
Guys?
Thanks, Adam. Also want to keep you there for a second. Make sure the hat goes to Ellie Flitch. Ellie Flitch gets the hat from Papa Murphy's for the turning point of the game. And Ellie Flitch wears number 44, Adam. If you want to go chase her down before they cut down the net for the district championship, let's put Ellie on the air real quick, as long as that's okay with Tom. We have enough time. So let's get her a hat. She will get a...
And we are back again on STSPN. The Snohomish Panthers are your 2015 4A District 1 champions. They have defeated the Lake Stevens Vikings 57-35. And we're waiting for the girls to cut down the net right now, which is a customary thing to do when you win a district championship. We're going to get our player of the game over here in just a moment as well. Again, Snohomish, by winning this game, is completely done with districts. They get to wait for regionals now. However, Lake Stevens, they still have to play another game. They're going to have to play Monroe Saturday at noon, and we'll broadcast that game right here on STSPN.com as well as KRKO 1380. Maddie Smith with 15 points. We'll try to get her here in just a minute. The Maddies are cutting the net next, Pollock and Smith. Try to get a few of the players here while we're at it. Got a couple that have already torn down the net here. Shaylee Harwood and Darian Riley are with me right now. Let's talk to both of you here really quick. Big game, first of all. Congratulations on winning the district championship.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much.
So how does this feel? I mean, last year didn't get a chance to cut down the nets, and this year you're doing it.
It's a brand new experience for me, and I'm so excited and so proud of my team and everything that we did today on the court.
Darian, you're new to this team this year, first year with Snohomish. How does this feel to win the district championship?
It feels pretty cool to be able to win it twice in my high school career, and winning at my senior year with this group of girls is the best ever. I love this team. I'm so proud of us.
Winning this by 22 points. You had some good games against Lake Stevens this year. Surprised you how easy it was tonight?
It was never easy at any point. We just had our focus. We were ready. We had a week to prepare. We were just ready to come out strong.
Darian, what about you? What was your game like tonight?
I focused a lot on getting it to other people because from the point guard, I know Kylie Griffin, she's long and it's kind of hard to score on her from out there. So I focused on looking for the slashers and just hitting them, and everyone else executed. So it wasn't easy, but we focused as hard as we could. We got it done.
So these two young guards getting it done tonight, and they're district champs. We'll let you guys go. Thank you. Just a moment here, we'll get a few more interviews. See if we get both of the Maddies over here in just a second. Why don't we get both of you over here, Pollock and Smith? We've got Maddie Smith and Maddie Pollock, two players who coming into the year, I think we had high expectations for you guys, and kind of wondering, a little bit of a slow start, but you kind of got things rolling as the season went along, and now you're district champs. How does that sound?
It sounds so good. This is I don't even know.
Dream come true? How about for you, Maddie? What's the whole experience been like this year?
It's been amazing. I love my team. It's just a true dream come true.
Big time. Nice. So, Maddie, starting off the game tonight, you got hot in the first quarter. You know these girls, obviously. You've played against Vandergrift. You've played against Griffin. Was it a little bit easier than you thought, maybe? I mean, or did you just make it look easy tonight?
I think we played as a team more than we've ever played it before. We came out stronger than we've ever came out. There's something that clicked tonight, definitely. It's been kind of iffy for a while. We've seen it sometimes, don't see it other times, but it definitely clicked tonight.
And now, Maddie, you're coming off the bench lately. You had a huge second quarter. Did you get a chance to kind of, sitting on the bench in the first quarter, do you have a chance to kind of analyze the game differently than you would when maybe you were a starter for a while there?
Yeah, so we've had a lot of new plays lately, and it's just good to sit on the bench and analyze and look at all the plays and get in rhythm before you, like get in that mindset before you enter the game.
Okay, I'm gonna make an executive decision up here, Todd. We're gonna name both of them the co-player of the night. So you guys get to share the T-shirt. You might have to flip a coin for it. I don't know, but I think it's only fitting that we have Maddie and Maddie holding this T-shirt. So if two of you would hold that, I'm gonna get a picture right now. Everybody's cheering for you guys right now. So there we go. The two Maddies, Pollock and Smith, playing together all year long. And one last question: Is it kind of nice to have your Saturday free now? You don't have to worry about that second place.
Oh my gosh, yes, I'm so excited. I love practice as much as anybody, but
but it's nice to clinch tonight, right?
Yeah, for sure, definitely.
Okay, well, go enjoy this. Congratulations to both of you, and best of luck in regionals.
Thank you so much.
There we go. The net is down. The celebration is continuing down here. A lot of celebrating, a lot of yelling. Heading over for pictures right now. Coach, how are you?
Good to see you.
Good to see you. What's this been like for you guys?
It's been a lot of fun. They've had a great week of practice, focused so much, and then we had a great game tonight. So it's been a good ride lately.
Down by 15 in the semifinals. I don't know what you guys said at halftime, but it must have worked because not only did you come out big against Monroe last week, but tonight against Lake Stevens it carried over. What's been the biggest difference?
You know, I really think our composure. It took us a while to kind of gel a little bit and kind of get into a good rhythm, and us as coaches had to figure out what our best rotation was going to be, and we changed that up a little bit late in the season, but we had to ask a player who's been a starter all year to kind of accept a little bit different role off the bench, and she's embraced it beyond belief. Madison Pollock's been awesome for us. She really turned it on in these last 5-6 games, and it's been pretty neat to see everybody really buy into their roles and what needs to happen. And, you know, we really talked about halftime in the Monroe game. You got to stay the course and execute the game plan. And we did a great job in the second half of that. So,
now, is it nice to know that if you want to do something different other than watch a basketball game on Saturday at noon, you have the chance to do that now in the luxury?
It is a lot of fun to know we have the luxury of doing that.
So I'll let you get back with your team, Coach. Thank you.
Thanks, Steve.
Congratulations. Continuing down here, the girls are celebrating, and they're posing for pictures right now. Monroe boys basketball team sitting down here waiting to go on the court. I think they're okay to wait right now. They don't mind that one bit, hoping that maybe this will be them in another hour and a half or so. All the girls posing. They've each got their piece of the net. Coach Ken Roberts and the rest of the crew still down here. A lot of smiles, a lot of happy faces right now. Girls running off the court, they're still excited. Bands are still playing, everybody's going nuts down here. The Snohomish Panthers are the 4A Division I 2015 champions. They head to the regionals from Monroe, as we mentioned earlier, and Lake Stevens. They still have another game to play. Both have one loss so far in the district tournament. One of those two teams will advance at noon on Saturday. The other one will see their season come to an end. We're going to take a quick break right now for a few minutes. We're 20 minutes away from the start of the 4A District Boys Championship game. That will match up Jackson versus Monroe. We'll come back here in just a little bit. We'll have that action for you on STSPN.com as well as KRKO 1380. Thanks for watching. Once again, the final score, the Snohomish Panthers 57, the Lake Stevens Vikings 35. You are watching STSPN.com.